I've just received a comment from one of my subscribers that said something about how watching my videos has been great for them while they are at rock bottom. This person, I believe, goes by the name Drew Dolce. So shout out to Drew. Thank you very much. Great to have you along and part of this community, part of this channel. Now, I wanted to talk about rock bottom. First of all, rock bottom looks different to lots of different people. And I am going to explain exactly what to do in a moment here. Rock bottom can be with your health. Rock bottom can be with your financial situation. Rock bottom can be with your relationships. Just to use a few different examples. A friend of mine the other day, actually last year, got hit by a train. So he ended up with a split eye, almost lost a finger, split legs, almost couldn't walk. He was in a comatose, critical state, unconscious, for 6 weeks in the hospital. Multiple surgeries, multiple blood transfusions, looking like he wasn't going to live at all. Now, that is a kind of rock bottom, yes? Health rock bottom is very dark. It is very dire. If you have your health, be grateful. If you lose your health, it can be very hurtful. Now, sometimes your business goes bust. Sometimes something goes wrong with your financials. Sometimes you lose your job. Sometimes you're gradually brought into a point of monetary scarcity. And that can be a kind of rock bottom. I've experienced that. I'm at rock bottom right now in that situation. Yes, you got $5 in your bank account and then a bill comes in to keep your car running. What are you going to do? Yes, that can be a very tight situation. That can be a very difficult situation. Financial rock bottom is very tough, very stressful. It's not easy, and it takes a long time to get out of it. Now, a relationship rock bottom can look like you've been in this relationship, you've got this girl that you love, and you're building this life with her, and you've been in this relationship, and you've been serving her and dedicated to her, and you really still like her, and you walk home one day, and she's in bed with someone else, right? We've seen it in the movies, and there's some sort of scenario like that. You find out some other way or whatever, depending on the drama, depending on the story. It is essentially that your relationship is over. And that is a shock, right? Your whole life changes. Your whole body feels this freeze. There's this numbness. There's this complete rapture of your perspective of who I am. And oh my goodness, it's a rock bottom. Now, of course, in life, you can have multiple things happening to you at once. You can lose your health and lose all your money and your girlfriend leaves you and anything else all at once. Yes, rock bottom looks different to each person. Rock bottom looks different to everyone depending on what kind of rock bottom it is. Now, in a Stoic sense, you should always say, if we look at this from a Stoic philosophy point of view, that actually it can always get worse because rock bottom is never really rock bottom. It's really just the worst that you've been at. Now, of course, there's something in that, and that's a little bit of a tricky approach to this situation in life. That's not what I am advocating for here. That's not the solution that I'm giving here. I'm going to actually go through a practical step-by-step solution. But traditionally, the Stoic philosophy approach is to sort of say, okay, this can be worse and actually I still have good things, yes? So if your relationship breaks down, you would say, at least my financials are still good. At least I've still got my health. If your health breaks down, you would say, at least my financials are still good. At least I still have my relationship, yes? And in fact, when your health breaks down and people stand by you, that's when you can really strengthen your relationships and have a very beautiful, loving relationship. It actually turns out to be a kind of opportunity. Now, that's just the traditional way of looking at rock bottom. That's a sort of ABC solution. Here, I want to be practical, real, and straight with you. Here's the solution. There is a 3-step process, 3 very strong core things you should do when you are at rock bottom. Here we go. Listen carefully. When you are at rock bottom, number 1 thing to do is wait. Just wait. It's not going to be solved overnight. It's not going to be solved even in a week or even in a month. You just have to wait. That is the number one thing you should do. Number 2, when you are at rock bottom, do no harm. Do not do anything to make it worse. You can mess up. You can make things worse. You can have things go wrong even more than what they are, and you can go into self-destructive behavior. Number 2 is do no harm. Don't do those things that are going to not help you. Now, number 3, this is the third point, which is build habits. And I'm going to expand on that in a second. But these are the 3 core things you do when you are at rock bottom. Number 1 is wait. Just wait. Number 2 is do no harm. Number 3 is build habits. Now, let's look at building habits. Here's what you can do to build habits. There's good, and there's bad. And what you're going to do is you're going to get a piece of paper and a pen and write down good and bad. And under bad, you're going to choose 3 bad habits of things you are not going to do that you are already not doing. So, for example, you would say, I don't do cocaine. I'm already not doing cocaine. It's not part of my life. It's not a habit. It's not something I have a problem with. So I'm going to write that on my list. I'm going to not do cocaine. I'm going to not do alcohol. I don't usually drink alcohol. I don't have a problem with alcohol. It's not part of my life. So I'm going to write that on my list. I'm not going to do heroin or something hard, right? Hard drugs, or you could say antidepressants or prescription medication. I don't have a problem with that, so I'm not involved in that. So I'm going to write that on my list. So 3 things, 3 bad habits that you are already not doing. And then you're going to pick one that you are doing, and you're going to do that as a list. Write this on the list as the 4th one, and you're going to say, this one habit I am not going to do. So, for example, I do this, and it's a bad habit, and I'm going to stop it. So for me, it would be, for example, drinking coffee. And then you're going to say, I'm going to not do that one thing no matter what. That's going to be my one thing that I'm not going to do, along with the 3 others that you already are not doing. So you've got 4 bad things that you're not going to do, 3 that you already don't do. This is a bit of a finger exercise. 1 and 3. This is good for my piano practice. This could be a piano playing technique. Anyway, don't get distracted. Now, for the good habits, you're going to pick one that you're already doing. So you might say, my habit that I already do that's good is making a video every day on the lifetime burn meditation. So that's an easy habit because it's already a habit. So I'm going to put that as one habit. And then I'm going to pick one that I'm going to do no matter what. So for example, it might be I'm going to have the habit of reading a book every night, or doing some reading every night, or doing some morning meditation every day. And you're going to do that no matter what. So there's one thing that you don't do no matter what. For me, in my case, it's going to be drinking coffee. And there's going to be one thing that you do no matter what. Now, you can do that to any amount, right? It means reading a book, even if it's for 3 minutes. And you do that every single day, no matter what. And that is your building habits. You'll find that after, it'll take you about 30 days of reading the book every day, no matter what, any length of time, before it actually becomes a habit. And then you'll find that the habit becomes longer. You can actually read for a longer period. Instead of forcing yourself to read for 5 minutes no matter what, even though you really don't want to, you'll find that, I'm sitting down to read, and I could probably read for about half an hour. I could probably read this book for 40 minutes to an hour and get lost in it and actually really enjoy it. It's going to take you about 30 days to do that, yes? And you will find it'll take about 30 days or even longer to Actually try, no matter what, I'm not going to have a coffee, I'm not going to have a coffee. And then after a while, you'll start to think, I don't even think about not having a coffee. In the same way, I don't even think about not having cocaine and not having fentanyl or heroin. And I don't even think about not having prescription medication. If you're at rock bottom, hang in there. Drew Dulce, it's great to have you along as a follower on this channel. Thank you very much for your comment. Sending you love, warm feelings and care. Hang in there. You might be the only person on this channel that's actually following along. So it's you and me, mate. We're the original gang. And, if it's just you and me making videos together, then it's worth it. It's totally fine. I'll be back soon with more. Please do subscribe. Keep the comments coming. And I'll talk to you soon.